back on the stage. And over the next hour or so, I'm going to be moderating a series of what I know are going to be thought-provoking conversations. And I want to begin with one that feels especially personal for me because it's about home. I've lived and worked in Abu Dhabi for over a decade. And in that time, I've witnessed its transformation and ambition through the lens of both a resident, a mum, bringing up my kids here, and as a journalist, of course. At the core of this evolution is how the city increasingly moves, is increasingly connected, how sustainable it is, and how the public and private sectors are collaborating to drive innovation. And no one has been more central to that strategy, that vision, than His Excellency. Under his leadership, the Emirate has carved out a future focused on sustainable mobility, smart city development, cutting-edge urban planning, and I could go on. This is about sort of future-facing, forward-leaning innovation, putting this city at the forefront of what I genuinely believe, and having lived in many cities around the world, what I genuinely believe is really at the forefront of where cities should be today and where they may be going forward. So where are we in that transformation right now? What's working? What's not? What are the challenges? And most importantly, where do we go next? Look, we can talk about a lot of things: autonomous public transport, next generation smart infrastructure, game-changing partnerships. How do you define where we are at? Just take us on a short journey, if you will, in the sustainable urban transformation of this city-state of Abu Dhabi.
Thank you, Becky. Great to be with you and great to be here. I've seen Investopia since inception with His Excellency Abdullah, and it's great to see this amazing crowd today. I know there's a lot of things that we are doing in Abu Dhabi now, and it tells you a lot about our leadership's vision and aspiration in terms of having Abu Dhabi as a livable and lovable city. It has a lot of components. And one of the most important components is developing a livable city that environmentally resilient and very responsive to community needs. And when I say about community needs, every community within Abu Dhabi has different requirements. And we have to understand as a government and private sector, which you touched upon earlier, how do we develop the right community and districts, not only from nice parks, schools, community centers, but the connectivity as well, and how we can make it as seamless as possible for people to work, live, and thrive in Abu Dhabi. It is a journey. It started in 2007 with the first urban plan of Abu Dhabi, then the refresher in 2014, and hopefully in the next few weeks, we are going to also publicize the refresher of the new urban plan of Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is growing. And by this growth comes a lot of advantages and things that we need to work on to make it as much as seamless as possible. And this is where the Department of Municipality and Transport comes in, working with a lot of different stakeholders, either from transportation, either from social services, healthcare, education, safety. And as you know, Abu Dhabi has been named as the most livable city in the MENA region recently. And this is a testament to our leadership's vision. And it raises the bar for us to actually take it a little bit further.
So let's talk about raising that bar, as it were. Mobility, key part of this vision. And one would argue one of the most important factors in what is the livability of a city. Can you break down what that means in practice and how far you genuinely believe the transformation on the mobility file will take us?
Connected to our urban development as well, as I mentioned, connectivity is very important. And we have to be agile to the different growth scenarios, either tremendous growth, stagnant growth, or lower growth. And as an investment from the government, we have to rely a lot on the data that actually we capture in Abu Dhabi. Most of our data or our decision making are driven through data and AI. And we have a lot of sensors, intelligent traffic systems that can give us data that we can anticipate where the congestion might happen, growth of either mobility or people. Livability as a concept has to be something which is seamless and agile. And not only introducing public transport system, but also how we can introduce technology in making people's lives and connectivity as seamless.
So what does that mean in terms of investments?
In terms of investments, we've been working for the last quarter of 2024. We launched the first autonomous taxis in Abu Dhabi, and I think this is the first in the region. By 2030, we are targeting 20% of our public taxis to be autonomous. We're working a lot with international companies that have already invested in our autonomous sandboxes and our pilot projects. We've invested a lot into our electrification of our bus network as well, and more to come. We've been in discussion with a lot of private players to come and develop their own mobility systems and platforms so that all systems can talk to each other and make it easier for people. But one of the most important investment that the government is doing now is investing in infrastructure of transportation. Currently in Abu Dhabi, we've earmarked over 65 billion dirham worth of projects just for transportation, from tunnels, new roads, expansions. And as you know, Abu Dhabi is based on the Falcon economy strategy. We are anticipating to double our population by 2040. And that's a lot of work for us at DMT to house all of those people in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has challenges. What are those key challenges that you face, and what, for the benefit of this audience, is Abu Dhabi looking to ensure it can, complete on? Where are the needs, and how, if you can be so kind as to talk about some of these challenges, where do you see, some clear sort of opportunities?
I like what you said at the end, opportunities rather than challenges. And see, every aspiration comes with opportunities. And we don't think we have issues in head-on hitting on those challenges and opportunities, because I think we have the right not only caliber and experience of the team, but also the support of the private sector. Obviously, leadership support is very important, which is great and is continuous, but private sector needs to be part of that development. As a policy, we've identified that, yes, Abu Dhabi is a rich emirate, but involving the private sector in those investments will hit two birds with one stone. One, we're going to create an engine of economic diversity in the economy in Abu Dhabi by introducing private sector investments. Number two, we're going to get the best technologies or ideas from the private sector as well. So having these two in Abu Dhabi will not only create more employment and attracting talents to Abu Dhabi, but also creating best technologies, systems, designs that we can utilize and leverage on in creating a more livable city. Coming back to the opportunities, Abu Dhabi, we're blessed that we have 70 to 75% of the United Arab Emirates is Abu Dhabi, so we're very horizontal, and we have a large number of communities, and we house over 200 different nationalities. And we are seamlessly living together, developing economies, developing social services together, and the investments are humongous. So those opportunities, private sector can double down on those opportunities because the government is open to partner with those investors to develop Abu Dhabi's urban plan and the new cities that we're developing.
I think it's important to ask, what do you expect from any inbound private sector investment? Because this isn't just sort of giving away opportunities here to invest. I think there's a really interesting mindset here. This is a bilateral sort of relationship, right? I mean, I certainly see that when I look at the new companies that are incoming here. There's a proper relationship. Come, live here, work here, use the schools, use the hospitals, use the infrastructure, all of which as a resident, I see the evolution of. How would you describe or couch the relationship?
See, we're trying to reduce the blue-collar population in Abu Dhabi, and we're thankful for them, obviously. But I think in targeting private sector investments and partnerships, we are always looking, obviously through our Abu Dhabi Investment Office that are attracting companies and talents, we're looking for companies that have technologies that Abu Dhabi can really make use of and make
some examples.
I'll tell you a lot of those examples. Our vertical farming technologies, Abu Dhabi Investment Office have incentivized a lot of those companies within that sectors that made Abu Dhabi as a springboard for the regional expansion. And we have no problem with that, because at the end of the day, if it starts from Abu Dhabi, you're getting the support of Abu Dhabi. This gives Abu Dhabi more traction to attract other investors within that sector. In terms of the investment in the fisheries, in terms of the investment in robotics, Abu Dhabi is investing a lot into the AI, and as you know that, we are attracting a lot of companies as well that are investing in the artificial intelligence in different sectors and modalities, that we believe that also Abu Dhabi can act as a springboard. So attracting technology-based companies that can add value to what Abu Dhabi have will be the right answer for Abu Dhabi.
And you use the term sandbox, and I hear and see that in evidence here, not least when it comes to AI and, for example, regulation. And you've also used the term agility here, which is something, again, that I talk to a lot of people outside of the UAE about what you see here. So just as we close this out, and we are closing this out, unfortunately, can you just explain what the policy is with regard regulation to ensure and support the ambition for Abu Dhabi? And, there's a federal initiative for zero government bureaucracy, government efficiency, which again all plays into that. So as we close out, just how you see that sort of framework coming together.
See, they're all coming together, either on a federal level or even at the state level. And again, because we have one aspiration. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, as president of UAE and ruler of Abu Dhabi, has an aspiration, and everybody under that hierarchy is challenged to aspire to his aspirations. When we're talking about policies and how to make business easier, how to make livability easier, lovable, it's very important that the federal and the state level work hand in hand to make their life easy. There is a lot of bureaucracies, yes, legacies that we need to get away from, and cutting down a lot of those different steps that you don't want. Digitizing all of these processes have helped a lot in providing services to the residents and the citizens of the United Arab Emirates and Abu Dhabi specifically. But again, at the end of the day, when we're using sandboxes, not only for policies, Becky, but we have to use sandboxes to contain or try or pilot all these policies, or even, and I mentioned sandboxes when we're talking about autonomous vehicles, because you have to have specific policy and regulations. You cannot publicize them yet until you pilot them. You pilot them once, twice, 3 times, benchmark them, and try to publicize them in a way that it's much easier than what used to be and what was in the region before. So I think this is an area that in the United Arab Emirates we've promoted to sandbox new policies and regulations to make it easier for people. We don't want to issue a policy and come after a month or 2 months and change it again and change it again. No, we have to pilot it, get everybody in one room, get it sorted out, and publicize it.
Last 30 seconds, 60 seconds maybe. 2025, just give us a sense of what we can expect to see here, 2025 and beyond. Obviously, you've got one of the successes of an economy like the UAE, and very specifically Abu Dhabi, is its long-term vision.
Yes.
So to talk about 2025, you'll probably tell me I'm beyond that already. But,
yeah, we're thinking about 28
yeah,
now and 30.
Exactly. But just give us a sort of closing sort of forecast.
I think it's very our long-term vision in terms of Abu Dhabi's economy, and again, from my mandate as municipal and transport and aviation, obviously, is very colorful, I'll be honest with you. But we have to be agile. Again, aspirations are very high, benchmarks are very high. Every year we get a bump into our benchmarks, and we have to elevate our expertise and our outputs. But you see it from everybody coming to the United Arab Emirates and Abu Dhabi. The departments are working together hand in hand for a specific direction and strategy. And we are all into it to make Abu Dhabi and United Arab Emirates as magnificent in terms of people to come and live. And to live, you have to have a right economy. And to have the right economy, you have to have the right citizens and residents working hand in hand in Abu Dhabi with the right infrastructure. And this is what we're trying to do now.
Well, I said I started this by saying I have a rather unique lens here, in that I am a resident and a journalist here. I see what you're doing. So oftentimes I'm slightly exhausted by what you're doing. Do you get much sleep at night?
Tell me about it. I have a good team.
It's all about the team.
Yes, absolutely.
Good to have you.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Your Excellency.